violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
A chaotic Saturday. Chicago police arrest 10 people during a chaotic Saturday night downtown. After large groups gathered, there was also a large police presence throughout.
Yeah. Look at all the young Super Gremlins. Woo! Not a pretty scene. It can go down at any moment.
Throughout the Millennium Park area to deal with all of it. At one point,
wow. Are you serious? They just jumping on random cars? Dude. Acting like they don't have no sense, sagging their pants. Like, what the hell?
Several people jumped onto a cab. Our photographer captured one fight that broke out at Michigan and Randolph.
And you see this Super Gremlin right here. He has an off-white shirt on, which is a very expensive brand created by Virgil. R.I.P. to Virgil. But very expensive brand, and he's pulling his pants up. So whenever you see a Super Gremlin start pulling his pants up, because you know they love sagging, that means that they're about to fight. They're about to get in an altercation, and they know that it pretty much doesn't make sense to fight with your pants down, but it also doesn't make sense to walk around with your pants down, yet they still do it. But yeah, so if you see one of these Super Gremlins pulling up his pants like this and approaching you in an aggressive manner, just understand that he's probably about to hit you in the face.
Police say 8 of those arrested last night were juveniles, 2 were adults. 9 other juveniles were arrested or were issued curfew violations. At least 1 person was injured. Several ambulances were seen in the area. In a statement, Chicago police said it anticipated the large gathering and had sufficient resources deployed to manage the crowd and ensure public safety.
Wow, so more police actually works.
Loved ones coming together tonight to remember the life of a father of 2 shot and killed in Detroit on Thursday. While police continue to hunt for a suspect, a mother asked a familiar question: why?
Give us hope that there will be a better day for us all.
The candlelight vigil, the balloon release, pretty much a formula that we see happen over and over again in the community. I just ask, if I ever, God forbid, encounter a Super Gremlin on Demon Time and I go out, please do not do a balloon release. I'm cool with the candlelight vigil, but what's the point of being an organ donor and you're trying to help somebody else and then you're also doing a balloon release to negatively affect the ecosystem and the environment? It just kind of sounds counterintuitive to me.
A touching tribute to 23-year-old Tyrone Parker.
I should not have to be burying my oldest child. It's not right.
As they come together at Belvedere and Goth Street, the wounds of what happened are as raw as the emotion coming to the surface.
It is not right. It's not fair. I should not have to keep going through this. I'm tired.
Tyrone was a father himself.
He got 2 kids. Why leave them hurting?
So he had 2 kids, you know what? And, you know, he got this brow tattoo. He could have been involved in something. Could have been beefing online. You don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. But obviously he has some issues with some Super Gremlins on Demon Time. And they got him up out of there.
Did not get a chance to be a father to raise his kids.
And this mother has seen enough pain for 2 lifetimes.
My heart is broken for the second time. Why me? Why?
Back in December of 2019, 19-year-old Tymarian Tiller, Tyrone Parker's younger brother,
Timerian, and obviously they have 2 different last names, so it sounds like she had 2 baby fathers. Pretty much the formula to having an unproductive life. And I don't get it why these women continue to have these children out of wedlock, and you know, then they're surprised when their kids get killed in the streets. It's just like, are y'all even paying attention to what y'all kids is doing?
Was shot and killed outside of a liquor store on Shane near Lafayette.
I'm tired. I lost 2 sons over gun violence.
Whoa, and that's where I gotta stop you, man. The fact that she can say over gun violence, you know that wasn't it, mama. You know that wasn't it. It was the Super Gremlins on Demon Time.
It's time to stop. It's time to put these guns down.
We've seen these sisters ask the Super Gremlins to put these guns down before. It never worked. You know, no disrespect to the family, but I wouldn't be surprised if these brothers were involved in some things. Like, it's not a coincidence that both of your kids get killed. And telling by just the fact that they have 2 different last names, she was probably out here in these streets, not really paying attention to her kids. And they grew up and they were probably on demon time as well. And it came back to haunt them. Now, I can't confirm that, but that's what it sounds like to me. That's what it appears to me, that there's no coincidence that both of your kids get killed. I could understand if they die under, like, you know, of some random health thing, but for them both to get killed in the streets, you kind of have to suspect that maybe, just maybe, they were also Super Gremlins on Demon Time.
So far, police have not made any arrests in Tyrone's murder. Anyone with information is asked to call either Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting
just took place. Excuse me. I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the Super Gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo! Ain't that nigga J.
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
that's
on.
that nigga.
That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius
Hey,
Jackson,
jump on that
here
nigga,
live,
man.
reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
Police confirm a juvenile has suffered at least 1 gunshot wound and is being treated at a local hospital. The condition is not known. What led to the shooting has also not been revealed. New since we've been here all afternoon are evidence casings. Neighbors report hearing what they thought were several firecrackers popping, then saw young people running. Inside the crime tape on the basketball court is a black jacket and 2 basketballs.
Wow. What do you know? What do you know? So these young brothers, they was just trying to do some midday basketball instead of midnight basketball, and it backfired. No pun intended. Okay. So we need to stop this basketball court violence because it's really getting out of hand. It's really getting out of hand. It's safe to say that midnight basketball, Mayor Andre Dickens, is not going to work for Atlanta. If it ain't working, if you can't even play basketball, you can't shoot hoops in the daytime, you definitely don't want to be shooting hoops at midnight.
Detectives have also been interested in a gray SUV. The front windshield has what appears to be 2 bullet holes on the front passenger side. Ironically, directly across the street from the crime scene is a building labeled Garden Village Precinct 9 Community Outreach Facility. In the front window.
Wow. So you mean to tell me they shot up the basketball court right next to the community outreach center where the sisters, if you ask a sister what we need to solve the violence in the community, we need more programs. We need more community outreach centers to do conflict resolution training and all. They shooting outside the community outreach center. Y'all do not know how to solve this issue. Y'all do not know how to solve this issue, okay? These super gremlins are on demon time.
Windows are signs saying got conflict? Try mediation. Conflicts are resolved here with mediation. Now, some neighbors we've talked with who do not want to go on camera say they are somewhat surprised that a shooting took place here. They say violence occasionally happens just a few blocks from here. Of course, we'll pass along further details as they become available. Reporting live from Rosedale, David Collins, WBIL TV 11 News.
I'm Joe Holden. We begin with Philadelphia's gun violence crisis. A woman was shot and killed this afternoon on Dara Street in East Frankfort, and a few blocks away, 2 16-year-old boys were shot in separate. Eyewitness News reporter Brandon Goldner is live at police headquarters with the latest on the investigations and reaction from neighbors. Brandon.
Joe, police have not made any arrest in that woman's murder. One neighbor we spoke to who lives nearby says she any solution to solve this violence.
Like the infamous Ock Nation said, there are no solutions. Shout out to Ock. You know, that's what it's pretty much feeling like, okay? And I told you guys, women, children, it doesn't matter. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Police have not made any arrest in that woman's murder. One neighbor we spoke to who lives nearby says she any solution to solve this violence. Lynn, who asked us to use only her middle name, says her son and boyfriend were sitting on her porch.
What's the point of only using your middle name if you're gonna show your face? Come on, Lynn. You gotta be smarter than that.
He was sitting there and the other one was smoking a cigarette, and they just heard the gunshots. And they don't, you know, you hear it, you just don't respond anymore. Just another shooting in Frankfurt.
And this is crazy, guys. Y'all are supposed to tell me that Lynn, in this rinky-dink, whatever this is, this brick apartment unit, respectfully, has white privilege. You are going to try and convince me that Lynn, this Frankfurt resident, has white privilege.
You hear it, you just don't respond anymore. Just another shooting in Frankfurt.
Her son took this photo as Philly police swarmed the intersection of Pratt and Dara Streets. Investigators say a gunman shot a woman twice in the head. She later died at the hospital.
It's great. It's just getting sickening. It's too many gunshots.
More gunshots interrupted the afternoon along St. Paul Street in Nicetown, a few blocks west of Broad, where 2 16-year-old boys were shot. One of them hit multiple times. One of the teens is still listed in critical condition. The other is expected to recover. Detectives say they made an arrest in the teen's shooting, but no arrest in the woman's murder.
We're hopeful that some cameras that are located on businesses and possibly some private residences may be able to shed light on what exactly happened here today.
Lynn wishes for the days of yesteryear before she became used to the gunshots.
Translation: the days of yesteryear where there were no super gremlins in the neighborhood, where they were continuing to redline these super gremlins up out the neighborhood.
You could go on vacation with your doors open. It was, you know, we used to have block parties. The neighbors would talk to each other. You know, we used to have good times.
Police have not identified the woman who was shot and killed. They also have not identified the person who was arrested in the teens shooting. Live outside Philly Police Headquarters, Brandon Goldner, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Brandon, thank you for that live report.
Finding guns became the #1 cause. Here in the U.S., an alarming new report finding guns became the #1 cause of death among children and adolescents in 2020.
You heard what he said. They said guns are the #1 cause of death amongst children and adolescents in 2020. Guys, listen to the double speak. This is straight BS. It's not guns. It's the super gremlins on demon time.
ABC's Alex Brochet joins us now from Washington with more, including the latest example of gun violence in our nation's capital. Alex, good morning.
Hey, Whit, picture this. It is Friday afternoon. Your child is just minutes from getting out of school for the weekend, and then you get the alert that their school is under lockdown because of an active shooter. D.C. police believe that 23-year-old Raymond Spencer is the lone person of interest, saying a suspect opened fire from a sniper-like position in an apartment building on a crowded street below, injuring 4 people in the process, including a 12-year-old child. It is one of the latest instances of gun violence affecting children here in the U.S.
So they're trying to use this Raymond Spencer situation as evidence that the gun violence is out of control, this, that, and third. And I'm going to do a video on this. We're going to break it down. It actually looks like this guy is Middle Eastern. It looks like he's like Indian or some type of thing. But he's definitely brown. He's definitely brown. So I would call Raymond Spencer a sand gremlin, definitely. But they're trying to use this as an instance of, oh, the gun violence is out of control. This is the face. That's not the face of gun violence, bro. The face of gun violence are these super gremlins on demon time.
Already this year, there have been at least 480 gun-related deaths in children and teens, more than 1,100 injuries, and it's building on a troubling trend found in a new CDC report. Data now shows that in the year 2020, firearms were the #1 cause of death in the U.S. for those between the ages of 1 and 19.
Wow, that's insane. That's insane. And what they're not saying is that it's the #1 cause of death for black kids. Okay? It's crazy out here, all right? It's wild out here. But we got all this data, all these statistics, and the FBI still can't come up with the crime data from 2021. These bureaucratic gremlins are on demon time.
They're taking car accidents. Gun-related deaths for this group up almost 30% from the year before, and that jump largely attributed to a rise in murders. Now, as for the shooting here in D.C. yesterday, late last night, the chief of police said the alleged suspect was found dead in the apartment building as police tried to break in. Authorities uncovering more than half a dozen firearms and multiple rounds of ammunition. Right now, they believe those guns were all obtained illegally. All his victims are in stable condition. John?
All right, thank you.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.